The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. W's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by W, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. W's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. W Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. This is Mike Tipton from Tipton Sports Broadcasting, inviting you to join us on Tuesday, June 10th at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive on the west side of El Paso for all-you-can-eat wings. As a big fat guy, you know I'm going to be stuffing my face, so why not join me and Brandon the Iceman Cone for all-you-can-eat wings? Be sure to tune in to Fire and Ice every Saturday as we talk sports or anything else that might come to mind. At B-Dubs, enjoy the $4 house beer Wild Herd, $5 Bud Lights, and $6 Voodoo Rangers. And take advantage of their $4 Fireball shots.
Fireball.
Happy hour is Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. Be sure to try the delicious new sandwiches like the beer cheese cheesesteak and chicken parm melt. Plus, all-you-can-eat wings Monday through Thursday until June 26th. $24.99 for bone-in wings, $19.99 for boneless wings, and the fries are included. All you can eat bone-in and boneless wings Monday through Thursday, and Fire and Ice every Saturday at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive. It is the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here on a Tuesday morning. Shout out to an associate who tuned in over on Instagram. Everyone else that's tuned in over on the Instagram feed. We are live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram, and of course on Roku with National Streaming Sports. Shout outs to our friends over at National Streaming Sports. You had Mac and Jack show on earlier, Sonia Pearson on along with Jack. Then you had Keith Angle from TGI Sports leading into today's show, The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. Then, of course, you have Coast to Coast with Bo Crouch later on today as well. That's going to be at 10 o'clock here on in El Paso. And then maybe, just maybe, depending on how things go, you know, the end of the year stuff, there's award ceremonies, all that. I might be home just in time to do the National Professional Sports Show. Our guy Tommy Cananza saying, what's good, Tip? What's good with you, Tommy? Hope that you're having yourself a fantastic day. If you listened to my advice yesterday and you bet on the Pacers to cover the 2.5, and you bet on the over of 220.5, you made yourself a little bit of money. I'm hoping that you went to BetUS. I'm hoping that you went to Bovada.lv. Whatever it is that you can do in Texas or all the surrounding areas, you went there and you learned that you can make some money listening to your boy. I made some bets yesterday. Those bets turned out good for your boy. I'm going to be celebrating, having myself a good old time. A lot of stuff to get into. We'll start right there. We'll start right there with the New York Knicks dropping Game 4 on the road to Tyrese Halliburton and them boys, the Halliban. I'm going to get in trouble for saying that one of these days. But that's his nickname. That's his nickname. That was bestowed upon him. I didn't come up with that. Someone else came up with the Halliban. Tyrese Halliburton, a historic game yesterday. I was watching this game and I get frustrated. Y'all already know I'm an old man. I'm yelling at the TV for people to get off my lawn. I can't believe this is what my life has become. Sitting there in my underwear with the finger in my belly button. Damn, I couldn't get through that joke. Let me try it again. I'm watching the game last night, sitting there in my underwear with my finger in my belly button, drinking a beer, resting it on my stomach, and I'm trying to watch this game, and I keep yelling and screaming because it's ugly basketball, just ugly shots being taken. There was a stretch there where the Indiana Pacers shot 3 straight or 4 straight three-pointers like early in the shot clock, and all of them were just clanking after clank after brick, looking like they were Angel Reese out there. That's a joke. Someone's going to get mad at me about that. That was a joke. If you've been checking out my my Instagram at Mr. Tipton 33, you can see what the joke is. It's an inside joke with me and my friends, but it's a funny joke nonetheless. We laugh our ass off at people who, quote unquote, know WNBA basketball. But just brick after brick after brick. And in the middle of this game, you have Tyrese Halliburton having a game. Prior to halftime, 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double. Into the second quarter, 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double. Ends the game, 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, and 0 turnovers. The first time in playoff history that somebody has gone that route. 32 points, 30-plus points, 15-plus assists, 10-plus rebounds, 0 turnovers. Tyrese Halliburton is a problem. And it looks like right now it's going to be OKC versus Indiana, which is, I want to say that's what I chose. I'll have to go back and look. Augustine Pimentel joining in over on the Instagram page. So he can find it on Instagram. He can find it on Facebook, but he can't find it on YouTube. And I gave him the link on yesterday to get to YouTube. Raywork Productions joining in over on Instagram as well. We are talking about Augustine Pimentel's Indiana Pacers. The P in Pacers stands for Pimentel. Augustine saying he can't find me on YouTube. Tommy, can you believe this? He can't find me on YouTube. I'm going to have to do this once again in the middle of the show, trying to send out the channel to Augustine. Share channel. Gonna get it. Gonna copy the link. You see me doing it here. I'm going to send it in WhatsApp now to my geriatric friend. There you go. I've sent it to you. I sent the channel to you. So I'm watching everything, right? I'm watching this game, and it's a fantastic game, and I'm loving how close the game was. I'm loving how amazing the sports stuff was. Tommy Khan's saying it's Augustine. What do you expect, Tip? LOL. Augustine saying, now I have no excuse. Raywork laughing at everything that's going on as well. It stands for bandwagon, LOL as well. Augustine is saying, hey, you know what? I'm good with it. Hey, at least you know who you are, right? Like, you don't have to be one of these people that pretends. I've said it a bunch of times too, right? Like, I wish I had that in me where I can just leave the team that I love. I could just leave the team that I love and not have to worry about it. And I was talking to my friends about this. James and Pat, you see me do Bob, Jim, and Pat get drunk on the internet with them, my friends over at ESPN. You see me talk to them about this, or I've been talking to them about this. I have really loved this playoffs because I don't have an emotional connection, right? Like, my Spurs were out of it back in February, so I didn't have any emotions in this thing. I can imagine a lot of people, whenever their team is terrible, they don't have to worry about a whole bunch. Shout out to the Death in a Hoodie podcast. Check out their new show. They had some of the roller derby girls on their show. The Death in the Hoodie podcast, anywhere you get your podcasts. Follow them on Instagram as well at Death in a Hoodie podcast. I'm watching yesterday's game. I'm having a fun time watching it. It's fantastic, right? Like, it's good basketball. It's everything that I liked up until a point when it wasn't. You are very welcome, Death in a Hoodie. Hope that y'all are doing fantastic. Don't forget to vote for the best of the best. I'm in the best of the best. You want to vote for me? You can vote for me. You want to vote for someone else? Go ahead and vote for someone else. Just let your voice be heard. But Tyrese Halliburton out there having a game. 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 0 turnovers. And I'm sitting back watching the New York Knicks, and they just look bad. I don't know what it like. I know that you cannot play Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns at the same time. Raywork Production saying, woohoo, support local always, sir. Of course I will. Of course I will. Augustine saying they are really boring for me. I don't know who's boring for me. The playoffs? Is basketball boring? Is that what's boring for you? Am I boring? And I know that you can't play Karl Anthony Towns and you can't play Jalen Brunson. And I think about it like a fan, right? I can only imagine what Knicks fans are going through right now. I assume it's similar to what Dallas Mavericks fans went through earlier in the season, right? Where you had a lot of hope, you had a lot of expectation, and then you watch this team get to where it is that they are now, and you sit back and you say to yourself, damn, we're not that good. Augustine Pimentel finally on YouTube. Yay for that. You see how fun it is as like someone who's just watching it as a fan, as a fan of basketball, right? Like, that's the way I'm watching it right now. Zero emotion other than whenever I see ugly, dirty ass basketball. I love what I'm watching right now. I don't have an emotional connection. I get to just ride the wave with any team, and that's where I wish I could be like Augustine and just choose whatever damn team I want to support. But I cannot do that. Like, there's a part of me that's like, you know what? I just want to watch football. I don't want to cheer for the Dallas Cowboys, but then I start cheering for the Dallas Cowboys. Tommy's saying, what's up, Augustine? Giving Augustine a little bit of love as he finally made it. Finally made it over to YouTube. I'm proud of you, Augustine. That right there is personal growth, my friend. I wish I can do that, Augustine. I wish I could just jump around team to team. I'm not that much of a man whore. I'm like Deuce Bigelow. I'm the worst man whore of all time. New York Knicks are in trouble. They're down 3-1. The Minnesota Timberwolves are also down 3-1. Minnesota taking on Oklahoma City tonight on ESPN. That game is in Oklahoma City. Augustine Pimentel says, hey, you want to root for a loser? Cowboys, it's on you. I get it. I understand. I wish it wasn't this way. I wish I didn't have to be this way. I wish I wasn't cheering for the Dallas Cowboys all the time. I wish that I could just not have to worry about any of the other nonsense that goes along with it. But my heart is there. I haven't been jaded enough by the Dallas Cowboys to just abandon the Dallas Cowboys. I just haven't been there yet. Maybe it'll come sometime soon. I just haven't been there yet. Oklahoma City, Minnesota Timberwolves. As much as I want to say, let me before I do that, let me look at what the spread is, what the over-under is. Oklahoma City is an 8.5-point favorite. Locally sourced EP saying you are always welcome to join Chiefs Kingdom. Some of my really good friends are Kansas City Chiefs fans. Shout out to locally sourced El Paso as well. Great podcast. You got to check them out as well. Start following everybody back, guys. If you can do that for me, please. Let's grow this community. Start following them, subscribing, all that good stuff. Locally sourced, a great source for entertainment here in El Paso. I got a lot of friends that are Chiefs fans. And I might have, I was this close. You can see back there the Texas Tech flag. It's kind of covered up right now, but there's a Texas Tech flag right there. I'm a Texas Tech fan. Suns up, guns up, baby. Hashtag wreck 'em, whatever it is you want to say. When Patrick Mahomes was drafted by them, I was that close to jumping ship. But that's the Dallas Cowboys. I cannot for the life of me. It's, again, my most toxic relationship. I wish I didn't love them. I hate that I love them. A Chiefs fan. Now, that's the definition of bandwagon, says Augustine Pimentel. You're a Patriots fan. Who are you to be talking about someone else being a bandwagon fan? You're a Patriots fan. Do you not see the irony here? Once a Cowboy is always a Cowboy. We bleed silver and blue. Yes, we do bleed silver and blue. Augustine saying he's been a Patriots fan since 1986. Oh, since the first time they went to the Super Bowl. Okay. I know, Augustine, I'm messing with you, but there are some long-term Chiefs fans out there, like my friend James Steele from ESPN, right? Like, he's been a Chiefs fan for as long as I've known him. He grew up in Pittsburgh. I have no idea why he's a Chiefs fan. He just loves the Kansas City Chiefs. He dealt with the Elvis Gerbach days, right? Like, when you can go back with that, and that's who you are as a fan base, like, that's the same thing with me and Tommy and all these long-term Cowboys fans, where we can say we were there during the Rodney Peete era, during the Quincy Carter era, during the Clint Storner, Vinny Testaverde, Ryan Leaf, Drew Bledsoe, Drew Henson era, before you got to Tony Romo. Locally sourced EP saying, Augustine, I jumped on the bandwagon in 1994 when Joe Montana joined the team. So think about that. You join in 1994 when Joe Montana joins the team. And then you follow that up with Elvis Gerbach and Trent Green and Rich Gannon. And you have all these great Kansas City Chiefs teams that make it to the playoffs and just can't get over the hump. And then you are given, just spoonfuls of crap in between. I want to say Matt Moore was starting games for the Kansas City Chiefs before they brought in Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. Like there is a struggle bus there that the Kansas City Chiefs fan base, long-term fans, have been on. Now, I get it. I'm sure their bandwagon has welcomed a ton of people over the last couple of years. But it's not like Augustine, the Patriots fan, hasn't lived this charmed existence. Locally sourced EP saying it was rough. Oh, trust me, I know. Again, I mentioned the Cowboys, the quarterbacks the Cowboys had between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo. I know how rough it was. I'm trying to think who of the worst quarterbacks there was for the Kansas City Chiefs in that time frame. Between Joe Montana and Alex Smith. You're talking about 20 years. And I want to say Trent Green, Rich Gannon, they were okay. Right, but they weren't good enough. And I might be mistaken. Was Rich Gannon even a quarterback for the Chiefs? I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm not going to do it right now. But you know what? Yeah, I will do it right now. We're going nostalgic today, guys. We're just gonna name old quarterbacks. I have searched up the list of Kansas City Chiefs starting quarterbacks. We're going to look into this. Tommy Canazza saying Augustine didn't know who his backup quarterback was last year, so that says a lot. His backup quarterback now in Dallas, baby. Man, you just look at some of these names. So you got Joe Montana. Steve Bono was a starting quarterback. Rich Gannon did start a couple of games with him. Elvis Gerbach. Warren Moon. I forgot that Warren Moon was there. Trent Green. Damian Heward. Oh, my God. Brody Croyle. Tyler Thigpen. Matt Castle starting a bunch of games for them. Brady Quinn. Kyle Orton. Alex Smith. Chase Daniel. Nick Foles. And then you finally got it over to Patrick Mahomes. Matt Moore was much more recently than I thought Matt Moore was. Blaine Gabbert and Carson Wentz also started a couple of games for the Kansas City Chiefs in recent time. But think about those names. Elvis Gerbach, Rich Gannon, Trent Green, Damian Heward, Brody Croyle, Tyler Thigpen. Augustine saying, hey, I didn't know how much of an a-hole Brett Favre was. I just saw the Netflix special on him. Wow. Shout out to Ryu's K-Dogs for tuning in. Ryu's K-Dogs for tuning in. Drea Thomas tuning in over on Instagram as well. We're having ourselves a great conversation naming off old quarterbacks for the Kansas City Chiefs. That was some tough time. That noodle arm of Matt Castle out there as starting quarterback. Brady Quinn starting 8 games for the Kansas City Chiefs in 2012. Man, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Augustine talking about that he didn't know how much of an asshole Brett Favre was. Brett Favre was. And he was. And he was a huge a-hole. And the thing is, there's always like a couple of degrees of separation between you and a person, right? So for me, guest of the show, was on the show a bunch of times back in the day before he got super popular, super huge. Cody Decker, former El Paso Chihuahuas player, great ambassador for the El Paso Chihuahuas, loves the city of El Paso. Cody Decker's wife, Jennifer, is the woman that Brett Favre sent his unsolicited penis picture to, which is, again, just a weird thing to think of. And whenever you watch that documentary and you think about what it's like, and then you hear Jen say that she never even met Brett Favre, that they never met in person, and he just sends her his dick. Sorry, Roku. He sends her his dick. And then fast forward, you see about the stuff that happens with the state of Mississippi defrauding the taxpayers of Mississippi so that way he can have a volleyball facility built for his daughter. And all kinds of Medicaid issues and things like that, all the stuff that happened surrounding Brett Favre. Just not a good dude. Just not a likable guy. Augustine Pimentel saying, Dick Vermeil isn't a bad person. Ha, I see what you did there. Augustine. Good joke. But yeah, I haven't really seen the whole documentary. Shout out to One Ass Cheek, Three Toes. My dude, Beastrilla, good morning to you, my friend. Check out their podcast, One Ass Cheek, Three Toes, talking about the Detroit Lions. I love this. I love that National Streaming Sports has brought me into a larger swath, we can say, of people. One Ass Cheek, Three Toes. Check out that podcast. They were going over all of the divisions, having fans from each one of the divisions on their shows recently, so you can check out the archives. This past week, they did the AFC East, the Patriots, the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills. Which one's going to be the cream of the crop here, brother? Now, let me tell you something, brother. Sister, brother, let me tell you something. Shout out to my dude, Beastrilla. Check out his podcast, One Ass Cheek, Three Toes. Man, this whole show has just been weaving. Whatever way it's going to go. Hey, I'm following the lazy river. Y'all tell me which direction we're going. We're going that direction. We were talking a little bit about the NFL, so I want to talk about Terry Bradshaw saying that the Steelers' interest in quarterback Aaron Rodgers is a joke. According to ESPN, quote, that's a joke. That's to me is just a joke, Bradshaw said. Continuing on, what are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? That guy needs to stay in California, go somewhere, and chew on bark and whisper to the gods out there. Terry Bradshaw not wanting Aaron Rodgers on the Pittsburgh Steelers makes me so happy. It means, and I was kind of leaning this way to begin with, and I think I might have said it a bunch of times regarding Aaron Rodgers while we were talking about him earlier in the year during the offseason, all that good stuff. He's done. And whenever you're as good of a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers was, you deserve to kind of go out on your own terms. But he's been such an asshole that he's going to be forced out of the NFL. Think about that. The Pittsburgh Steelers are like, we'll run with Mason Rudolph as our starting quarterback right now because we don't want to deal with you. We'll throw whatever we can against the wall because we don't want to deal with you. You saw how unceremoniously he had to exit from New York. You saw how bad it was in Green Bay. And people gave the benefit of the doubt to Aaron Rodgers by saying, look, maybe it was Green Bay. Green Bay didn't draft a wide receiver for him. So maybe, just maybe, it's all about Green Bay. Well, then he goes to New York with the Jets. He gets his guys to follow him, some of the same guys that he had in Green Bay, is able to get Devontae Adams, is able to have the team put a good running game around him with Breece Hall. They have a halfway decent offensive line. They have a halfway decent defense. And you saw how bad Aaron Rodgers was last season. You can take away, okay, he tore his Achilles, whatever. You want to have that as an excuse? Fine. He's going to be 41 years old, which is ancient. I know because I'm 41 years old and my body hurts no matter what the hell I do. And he was forced out of the NFL. Just forced out of the NFL. Augustine Pimentel saying, hey, people don't blame me for all the bad words. I wrote a-hole. Hey, people, don't blame me. Don't blame me. I'm just Augustine Pimentel. Don't blame me. I'm sorry, Augustine. I will dial it back. I won't say a-hole anymore. I'll try my best not to call Aaron Rodgers an asshole anymore. Woosah. But think about that quote. Think about that. You have a legend, a Pittsburgh Steelers legend, saying, quote, that's a joke. That to me is just a joke. What are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? That guy needs to stay in California, go somewhere, and chew on bark and whisper to the gods out there. A legend in the NFL should be given the opportunity to write his own ending outside of injury, right? Like outside of some unforeseen, terrible injury. Peyton Manning, held together with duct tape and bubble gum, was able to write his own ending, got himself a Super Bowl and realized, I can't do this anymore. I'm out. Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay, wins a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, has a hell of a game in his final game. Actually, his final game was against the Cowboys, and it wasn't that good of a game. I was thinking about whenever the Rams beat the Bucs, tried to run it back, right? Tried to do it, still drug that corpse of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the playoffs, was still a good quarterback, probably still could have done it at age 45, and said, you know what? This is it. I've lost to the Dallas Cowboys for the first time in my career. I'm leaving. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. How dare I lose to that team? Biggest win in Dallas Cowboys franchise history was beating Tom Brady one time in his entire career. Drew Brees still got to go out the way he wanted to go out. Aaron Rodgers wants to play and is being forced out, and he's going to go on McAfee, and he's going to go on podcasts. He's going to do all the stuff that Aaron Rodgers does to make it seem like, no. This was my decision. I didn't want to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't want to go to the New York Giants. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. When we all know that the market for him was so dried up, and I might be wrong. Like some team might get out there and be desperate as all hell to bring in Aaron Rodgers. But I don't know if there's anybody out there that's desperate enough to bring in Aaron Rodgers. Woof. I was trying to think of a transition. I can't think of a transition. But it's 8:30, so you know what time that is.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just a Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout. Save on all your male grooming needs. The full body deodorant is coming out soon. I can't wait. I saw that I'm getting that package sent to me. I am excited about getting my full body deodorant from www.myhappynuts.com. But don't think about just that, guys. Also get the comfort cream. Summer is coming up. You don't want to be all swampy down in your nether region. You want to feel nice. You want to feel like you can take on the world. www.myhappynuts.com allows you to do that. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. Mireya Reyes saying, stop hating on Rodgers. He really didn't want to go. He wants to retire a Packer. He made a lot of money in the league. He can go. That sounds like two contradicting arguments, but okay. He did want to go. He forced himself out of Green Bay. He forced himself out. He told them, trade me, get rid of me. He told them that. You can't go back and have revisionist history. He didn't want to leave. Yes, he did. He said as much. He wanted to go. He signed where he wanted. He got to determine where he got traded to. He wanted to go to the Jets. So they traded him to the Jets. He took Alan Lazard. He took Randall Cobb. He did all the stuff that he wanted to do. Yes, he made a lot of money. He can go ahead and retire. He can do whatever it is that he wants to do. He said that he wants to play. He wanted teams to wait on him, though. Tommy Canazza saying he literally forced himself out. Yeah, that's the thing is he wanted out. He wanted his own, like he said this much. Trade me. I don't want to play for the Green Bay Packers anymore. That might be the first time I've ever heard that revisionist history of it. We're rewriting history so quickly. 3 years after it happened, we're going to rewrite history. Forced out of the league, though. That's the thing that sucks, man. That's the thing that sucks. Tommy Canazza saying, good morning, Strilla. All the salutations that are going out there. Mireya Reyes saying we can all have a change of heart, but he hasn't had a change of heart. He hasn't come out and said that he wants to go to Green Bay. And if Green Bay was offered Aaron Rodgers, are you taking Aaron Rodgers over Jordan Love right now? Jordan Love took you to the playoffs the last 2 years. Like Jordan Love is doing a pretty decent job in the wake of losing Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers missed the playoffs twice. Jordan Love has made the playoffs twice. Like Aaron Rodgers can have a change of heart. I agree with you. That can happen. Any one of us can change whatever it is that we're thinking of at that point in time, right? But the Green Bay Packers are not going to take him back. And it wouldn't be worth alienating your fan base for that. Like he forced himself out of Green Bay. He was the one who was so anti-Green Bay. They're not doing enough for me. I made it to 2 NFC championship games with this team, but they're not doing enough for me. And they've made it to the playoffs, and they've had some pretty good teams since then. And they're still a young team that if you bring in Aaron Rodgers to that young team, I think it's creating a bunch of issues that the Green Bay Packers don't need. I think the Packers are going to be okay. Again, I think the NFC North is going to be so much fun to watch because I think you can make a legit argument for all 4 teams being able to win the division there. I think maybe not Minnesota. Maybe Minnesota's going to take a step back, but Chicago took a lot of steps forward. Green Bay, I think, is still a really good team. And I think Detroit's going to take a step back, but they're still, to me, the best team in that division. Midea Reyes saying, forced himself out, ? They had Jordan Love already poised to take over. He could just retire as a Packer. Is he going to do like those ceremonial one-day contracts? I don't see Aaron Rodgers doing a one-day contract like what we just saw in Dallas, right? Like, I can't see that happening. But maybe he does. Maybe he does. And yes, he did force himself out. I mean, I will make it my homework, and I will go through all the articles, and I will post them all up, and all the interviews, and all the stuff with Pat McAfee. I will go through all of that, and I will play 40 minutes of Aaron Rodgers complaining about the Green Bay Packers and how he wanted out. Yes, he forced himself out. You are not going to change anyone's mind on this. He forced himself out. Jordan Love could have just sat back. Midea Reyes saying, do it. I will. You're the only person, the only Packers fan out of all the people I've met, the only one that's like, he didn't force himself out. Oh, as a matter of fact, let's look it up right here. I'll just change I'll share the screen. Did Aaron Rodgers force himself out of Green Bay? Even AI overview on Google says, yeah, Aaron Rodgers effectively forced himself out of Green Bay after a period of tension with the team's front office. In the 2021 season, Aaron Rodgers' agent, whoever this Dunn guy is, reportedly demanded either the firing of general manager Mike Guttenhurst or a trade for Aaron Rodgers. According to the New York Times, Aaron Rodgers then strayed away from the team until shortly before training camp, where he signed a contract extension in 2022. The relationship remained strained, and by April of 2023, he demanded a trade, which the Packers ultimately granted him, sending him to the New York Jets, according to the New York Post. I mean, come on. NFL.com. We'll just go through these articles here. NFL.com. Bad news, lovers of chaos. No. That's a lot of reading. I'll have to go through all that stuff. That sounded very Palpatine, says Augustine. You're not going to get that reference. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, Augustine. Tommy Canazza saying he 100% forced his way out. LOL, he didn't want to be there anymore. Midea Reyes sticking to her guns. The general manager wanted him out. It was time for the new era. ESPN.com on April 21st or on April 29th of 2021. Share screen. The headline right there from Adam Schefter. You see right here. April 29th, 2021. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to return to Green Bay Packers, sources say. Reigning MVP Aaron Rodgers is so disgusted with the Green Bay Packers that he has told some within the organization that he does not want to return to the team, league and team sources told ESPN on Thursday. How much more do you need? Tommy Canazza saying, so did Favre. What is it about Green Bay? LOL. Favre, I think Favre's thing was that he just wanted to keep playing, right? Like, he retired a handful of times, but he just wanted to keep playing. That was all on him. Oh, God, we're going to be one of these people? Is that what we're going to do? Sources, quote-unquote sources. We're going to be like the whole false media, fake news stuff. I'm not going to get into that conversation. That's not worth even talking about. Yes, sources are real. If you haven't been to journalism school, don't question what the hell sources are. Augustine Pimentel saying, so the Packers let him retire as a Packer? I wouldn't. I agree with that 100%. Like the Green Bay Packers owe Aaron Rodgers nothing. He wanted out. He made his own bed. He has to lay in it. I'm looking up more stuff here. We got the New York Times. Yeah, like I said, we'll go through more of that later on some other time. Moving on. The Aaron Rodgers conversation, always a fun one. Always a fun one. We're talking about Kansas City Chiefs quarterbacks. Terry Bradshaw not happy. Let's go back to the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll read this comment real quick. Tommy Canazza saying Tony Romo didn't want to be a backup, but instead of going to play elsewhere, he retired as a Cowboy. That's someone who loves the team he plays for. Just saying. And I also think like Tony Romo kind of saw the writing on the wall. I don't think Tony Romo was going to really be able to play anymore. Like the back injuries and all that stuff. No one's saying that he wasn't a great player. I literally said it at the beginning of this whole thing. A guy that was as great as Aaron Rodgers should be able to choose his own ending. Now you're just making stuff up. Like that's all that is. You're just trying to make stuff up. I think what I need to do for the people that used to watch the show back in the day, I think I need to bring the bench back. I got to have a crew of people with me, though, for a benching. I literally said that Aaron Rodgers, as great as he was, for being one of the greatest of all time, should be able to retire his own way, should have been able to write his own story, but instead is going to be forced out of the NFL. I literally said that. No one has ever questioned whether or not Aaron Rodgers was great. You're going to come back and be like, oh, you used to say that stuff. You used to say that, Tip, that Aaron Rodgers wasn't that great. I said he's overrated. Whenever you compare him to the greatest of his generation, was he better than Tom Brady? No. Was he better than Drew Brees? No. Was he better than Peyton Manning? No. So you can't call him the greatest quarterback of all time if he wasn't even the greatest quarterback of his generation. That doesn't mean I don't think he was great. Mireya saying she missed that part. I just logged on. I said it like 4 times, but I will give you that. Mea culpa. The Timberwolves and the Thunder tonight on ESPN. The Thunder with an 8.5-point spread. That's what they think is going to happen here. That the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to lose by 8.5 points. Augustine Pimentel going back to the Aaron Rodgers talk saying, wait, he did a lot for Green Bay. It was his job. We all forget that it's their job. It is their job, but I mean, and we can all say with the teams that he had in Green Bay, he didn't achieve what everyone thought he should be, right? Like being a one-time Super Bowl champion and that being in like 2010, it feels like there should have been more. Like there should have been more meat on that bone. That's what I think is the issue that a lot of people have, right? Like in the AFC, you could have been like, okay, you ran into a buzzsaw known as the New England Patriots. That's why you didn't make it to the Super Bowl, right? And like you had Peyton Manning and Tom Brady going back and forth on who's going to make it to the Super Bowl. In the NFC, it felt like, okay, it was Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers were the cream of the crop of the NFC, but you have Eli Manning in there winning Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Like you have Cam Newton making it to a Super Bowl. It just feels like with all the talent, with everything that he had, there should have been more, right? Like there should have been more success. People talk that stuff all the time about the Cowboys. Look at how good your team was, but look at how you choked. Why can't we say that about other teams? They made it to what? 5 NFC championship games and made it to 1 Super Bowl? And part of the reason why they didn't make it to more Super Bowls was because Aaron Rodgers, instead of running with the ball, spikes it into the ground. Like, there has to be some level of, okay, that guy did those decisions, right? In those games, he just didn't show up. How many times did he lose to the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs? But I don't think anyone's going to question like his individual greatness. The team just didn't succeed. But that's also because the quarterback is the guy who gets all the blame, and the quarterback's the guy that gets all of the love whenever the game is over, right? Like the team wins, the quarterback's the guy that's like, oh yeah, no, he's getting all the love, even though wins and losses aren't a quarterback stat. Tommy Cananza saying he was great. Nobody's saying he wasn't. He's just a whack job who can't play anymore now. How old? What's the over-under on how old you have to be to use the word whack job? The phrase whack job. I don't think I've heard that in a long, long time. Augustine saying Aaron Rodgers is the Donald Trump of the NFL. Some people are saying that he could be compared. He could be compared to number 47. I'm not going to get into that conversation. Woof. Woof. Memorial Day. Hey. Stop hating on Rodgers. No one's hating on him. I said it right now, the team success. He is a whack job, though. Like, no one can deny. He is. Ayahuasca has done something to him. It's done something to him. Because the guy is kind of out there. I wish him the best, though. It sucks, though, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it sucks. The dude's such a good quarterback, like legendary, right? He is one of those legendary quarterbacks, one of those legendary names, but he doesn't get to write his own ending. And that's what sucks about it. And it's all because he's got to be able to look in the mirror and say, damn, I messed up. But it feels like he just doesn't do that. And that's what it comes on to, right? As old as Aaron Rodgers. That's right. Old ass Aaron Rodgers. That's who we're talking about. Anyway, going back to it, I've been trying to get back to it. The Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder, an 8.5-point favorite in today's game on ESPN. Normally, I say these games are going to be close, and I think this game might be close, but we know that Oklahoma City is a team that can rise to the occasion, that when it's time to close you out, they don't play with their food. They do what they're supposed to do. The hardest test that Oklahoma City had was the Denver Nuggets. As soon as they beat the Denver Nuggets, we all kind of knew, okay, it's going to be OKC in the NBA Finals, right? Like, Minnesota's just not good enough. And you have to think about it this way. Minnesota got the game that they needed 2 days ago from their bench, getting 64 points scored from their bench. And it was the starters that let them down. You cannot think that the bench is going to be able to replicate that type of game again. You need an otherworldly type of performance from Anthony Edwards if the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win this game. You need Anthony Edwards to be the star of the show, right? And he said, look, I was making the right basketball move. How many times have we destroyed LeBron James for making the right basketball move? Because he needs to take over the game. You're the guy. You're the number one dude there. You need to be the one that takes the game over and wins it for your team. And Anthony Edwards just wasn't that guy in game 4. He was nowhere to be found. 16 points, 1 of 7 from 3, just jacking up bad shot after bad shot. Yeah, he made the right pass. He made the good basketball move, but he needs to be able to, in crunch time, take the game over and put the team on his back. We see everyone do it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Whenever the Thunder need a run, they give the ball to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He gets to the bucket. He gets his points. He gets his teammates involved. He becomes an all-around player. That's what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander does. That's why he's the MVP. Then you look at the supporting cast that's out there, right? Jalen Williams stepped up. Chet Holmgren stepped up. Alex Caruso stepping up, becoming this defensive stalwart that nobody thought he was going to be. Lou Dort being a great team defender, right? This team plays great team defense. The whole team steps up and does what they need to do. In the biggest moments, you needed your team to step up if you were the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they just absolutely didn't. Julius Randle was nowhere to be found. Absolutely nowhere to be found. 5 points from Julius Randle. That guy is a superstar level caliber guy traded from the New York Knicks to Minnesota for Karl Anthony Towns. They basically made it a one-on-one trade, right? Throw in Dante DiVincenzo, throw in whatever the hell else you need, but it was Julius Randle and Karl Anthony Towns that were the jewels of this trade. Julius Randle, nowhere to be found. Julius Randle, just 5 points, 4 rebounds, a ton of minutes, but nowhere to be found. You need your superstar players to act and play like effing superstars in the playoffs in these moments. We're talking about a completely different series if they make a bucket or two. That's all it was going to come down to, is if they make a bucket or two. And they just absolutely didn't. When it came down to needing it the most, the Minnesota Timberwolves players and team just choked it all away. Just shit the bed. Sorry, Roku, but that's what they did. This series to me is over. It might not be over today. I'm calling it over today. I might be wrong with this, but I'm going to just go ahead and call it right now. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder punched their ticket to the NBA final. And in Madison Square Garden tomorrow, I feel like Indiana is not going to play with their food, and that series is going to be over as well. The Knicks are just not good enough. The Timberwolves are just not good enough. It would have been great. It would have been a great story if the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks were able to make it to the NBA final, having those trades for Karl Anthony Towns, like making those trades with each other to make sure their teams got better, right? It was going to be one of those, both teams win in the trade, and I still think that that's kind of the way that it is. Karl Anthony Towns gives the Knicks what they need. Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo give the Timberwolves what they need. But right now, they're just not good enough. Augustine Pimentel saying it would be the other way, just the way you've been predicting. LOL. Hey, I'm right so far. I had Pacers and Thunder. Those were the two teams that I had. So maybe we get back. We started 5-3. We went 0-4. Woof. In the second round of the playoffs. So we're at 5-7 right now. I win these two. We get to 7-7, and then it comes down to the NBA Finals. But how fun of a series is that going to like again, New York, you lose the New York market, so you're not going to get a whole bunch of ratings for this. I think it's going to be a ratings nightmare. But if you love basketball, it's going to be such a fun game to watch between the Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that the Oklahoma City Thunder are the better team, but I have such a hard time now picking against the Indiana Pacers, and people have to think about this. And I'll just say this as we get to the end of the show. Since January, the Indiana Pacers have the best record in the NBA. After January, they turned it on, and they said, this is what we're going to do. I've got to look it up. Since January, they went 21-27. We'll add that 7 to that, 34 and 14. 34 and 14. They had the best record in the NBA since January. They're a good damn team. So don't let that early record fool you, right? Where they weren't that great. Don't let that early record fool you. They are a good team, and they will test Oklahoma City. I think it's going to be a really fun matchup. Augustine saying, I love basketball so much that I watch women's basketball. I'm the same way. I actually really do. That's why I love making fun of people who came on more recently being like, oh, look, I love the WNBA. I know so much about the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is all I can name. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is all I can name because of that stuff, because of the rivalry that's going on there. Can I just say this? Like I don't do this often because I feel like it's a stupid argument. But the same people that are loving Caitlin Clark in the WNBA are the same people that say the three-pointer is killing the NBA. Think about that. We love Caitlin Clark, but we hate the three-pointer in the NBA. And I am 100% sure that if Angel Reese was white, even though she misses a ton of shots and gets a ton of rebounds, they would say, man, that's a tough-nosed player in there doing what she's got to do to help her team win. Angel Reese became the fastest player in WNBA history to get 500 points and 500 rebounds this past week. The fastest player. Did it in 38 games. The second fastest of that was 44. 6 games faster than any other player in the history of the WNBA ever did. But if she was white, it would be a completely different conversation. It would 100% be. Switch their skin color, and you're talking about how the three-pointer is killing the WNBA as well. I'll get off that high horse right now. Augustine Pimentel saying Angel Reese is hot. Is there a woman out there that you don't think is hot? I think that's a shorter list. Kelsey Plum is an amazing player. Kelsey Plum really is. If you haven't been watching the WNBA, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's a great, great product. All right, everybody, I want to thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Remember, on the 10th of June, we'll be out there for Fire and Ice. Me, Brandon the Iceman Cone. Me and Brandon the Iceman Cone inviting y'all to join us at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive for all-you-can-eat wings. We're going to make them regret allowing 2 big fat guys to eat all-you-can-eat wings. We'll see you all tomorrow, everybody. This is Mike Tipton from Tipton Sports Broadcasting, inviting you to join us on Tuesday, June 10th at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive on the west side of El Paso for all-you-can-eat wings. As a big fat guy, you know I'm going to be stuffing my face, so why not join me and Brandon the Iceman Cone for all-you-can-eat wings? Be sure to tune in to Fire and Ice every Saturday as we talk sports or anything else that might come to mind. At B-Dubs, enjoy the $4 house beer Wild Herd, $5 Bud Lights, and $6 Voodoo Rangers. And take advantage of their $4 Fireball shots.
Fireball.
Happy hour is Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. Be sure to try the delicious new sandwiches like the beer cheese cheesesteak and chicken parm melt. Plus, all-you-can-eat wings Monday through Thursday until June 26th. $24.99 for bone-in wings, $19.99 for boneless wings, and the fries are included. All-you-can-eat bone-in and boneless wings Monday through Thursday, and Fire and Ice every Saturday at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive.